It is the first edition of the week, and we are set to take you through our interview segment. And on the interview segment, this edition, we are taking a look at a critical sector of Nigeria's economy, talking about power generation and distribution. Power has always been a bane of Nigeria's economy, and up to today, we are yet to get out of that doldrum. So many funds have been sunk into it, but little effort, little results that we can show for that. And we are joined by someone who knows it all about all these coals in Nigeria, because they are the last set of people that will distribute electricity to Nigerians. And Nigerians don't care whether they have just less than 500 megawatts or 1,000. All Nigerians are after is that let me have this electricity, and so that I can enjoy life. We're joined, as I said, by Chief Sunday Oduoto, who is the Chief Executive Officer, Association of Nigerian Electricity Distributors. All the discos in Nigeria, this is the man in charge of them. And he just returned from Enugu, South, to talk about electricity there as well too. So welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Thank you.
And of course, my guest, my co-presenter is with me, Lateef Sanusi, and together we'll be drilling Chief Sunday Oduoto.
Yeah, good morning today. Good morning, Chief. Welcome to the program.
Good morning.
Okay, maybe we should start this way. I remember sometimes in May, the federal government actually, criticized the distribution companies, talking about the fact that no matter what is being generated, if they are not properly distributed, it's meaningless to consumers. And the Minister of Power actually stated 3 reasons why he was actually criticizing the discos at the time. He said that because a lot of discos have underinvestment in the distribution infrastructures, and of course he was talking about aging networks. He was talking about the fact that we have electricity theft and some other factors, reasons that he gave. And so far so good. At the time, you were quoted to have responded by saying that you are working with the government, but you are not interested in the politics. So before we go to the politics, what has happened between then and now? We're talking about May, about 5-6 months or thereabout.
Thank you very much. We are LANED, which is a collection of 11 electricity distribution companies in the country. We have decided that our focus should be on providing electricity for Nigerians, ensuring liquidity in the sector, continue with the sensitization of Nigerians, because when you tell Nigerians what's going on, perhaps that will enable them to know what their own rules and responsibilities will be. There's something we call the supply of power and the politics of power. We're interested in the supply aspect. We're not interested in the sweet talk of politics of power. My dear brother, Shiva Adelabu, I'm sure he wants the best for Nigeria. He knows the issues, at least better now than when he started. We interact a lot. Either it was quoted out of content, or at that time he was probably under pressure, and there's always a need to see somebody. If you want to knock somebody's head in your house, the best victim is always your house boy or your house girl, the smallest person in the room. So I don't want to go into that. I'm sure Nigerians will agree with me that in the last 2 years, if you look at your supply anywhere you are, and I challenge everybody, including even areas where supplies have not been that good, the supply of electricity has done better. Let me tell you the state capital here. If you live in Obantuku, Bonogun, or Asheru Estate, I can beat my chest and say your supply today is better than it was 2 years ago. Of course, it can be better. Even Bodeolude and some area where we suffer a lot of energy theft, they still have something better than it was, but it can be better. Elega and so many other places. What I think we all need to do is to collaborate together align the sector, ensure people get the service. We have some areas where we need to improve. For instance, and this happened last night, once it rains and there is storm or it's windy, some of our dilapidated infrastructure just trip off. This happened in Ogunte Capital yesterday evening, and the light will just go off. That is embarrassing. That is not good for us. That's not the way we should go. But it has to do with a lot of need for network renewal. Network renewal speaks to investment. Investment speaks to cost recovery. Cost recovery speaks to people, everybody playing their part. You cannot continue to invest in any business if you cannot recover your cost. And this is what many Nigerians don't even like to hear. They want you to keep pumping your money into it, even when you cannot recover. There's nothing like over recovery or under recovery, or under investment or over investment. The truth of the matter is that we have a role to play as an industry. The people that we serve also have a role to play. So I think give it to this government and don't be political about it. I think when it comes to the need to increase electricity, this government has continued the effort made by Mr. Babatunde Fashola, SAN. The increment is coming up, and of course, that means you give it to this particular federal government. And the Electricity Act of 2023 as amended is another pathway to having more electricity. But it will take time. I've said it on this program before, the privatization of the Nigerian power sector is a very long journey on its own. So we started the journey on the 1st of November 2013. It will take a long time.
Okay.
Ibadan Electricity Division Company, love them or hate them, anybody who can be objective enough should acknowledge the fact that they have improved.
Okay.
I started as their pioneer chief legal advisor and company secretary in 2013. I know where we were. Today I know where we are, and we continue to do training, workshop, interaction across the board. Only 2 days ago at Eco Hotel, I had assembled all chief technical officers, those are chief engineers, chief commercial officers of all the 11 discos, with a Spanish company that came all the way from Spain. We look at where we are, what we can do, how we can improve things, where the failures happen and why, and what can we do.
All right, Chief.
And what are the equipment, because now we need to deploy more technology.
All right.
The issue with electricity all over the world globally is technology.
Okay.
Once we deploy technology, the service will even get better.
All right,
That's
okay,
where we
Chief.
are.
Okay, if you are, thank God that where you landed, the issue of technology, you raise a fear, you know, a fear that once it's windy, it's rain, then we cannot but have to be without electricity because of our equipment and the likes of that. So why are we not step up since then as a nation?
We have
to bring technology into it. That's one. The number two is this. Now, the population keeps increasing. You have praised this government that they have increasing generation day by day. But the population is increasing at geometric level, more than what we are generating. Now, how can we also step up the game to make sure that electricity becomes a regular thing? I remember growing up, electricity was not a problem then.
Okay, I'll start with what I mentioned about once it is windy or there's a storm. Yesterday it happened, last night, but give it to the IBDC engineers. They restored power. And I noted the time when it happened and when the power was.
So that means you enjoy 24 hours electricity in your area, for you to have taken note of that.
Nobody will enjoy 24-hour electricity in Nigeria in the next 5 years. Nobody is going to give you that promise. What we tell you is that if you're in Bande, we should say on average you have between 20 and 24 hours. And that's something people need to understand without any kind of mischief. The system, what we have, and you just mentioned that, in the 60s, in the late 60s in Abeokuta, as a primary school student, I remember there was light in Abeokuta, And I remember there was water. And I remember at Isalejeun, in the evening, we go under the public tap to bath in the night. In this same area.
So population is a problem here.
But that time, Bodeolude was a tiny village in Odeda. No road to Bodeolude. St. John's Primary School in Kuto was one primary school inside the bush where some of my brothers like Tunde Lemo and Co. Idowola Ogun, they attended. They walk all the way from Ishabo to Kuto. So as population grew, so we should have grown our electricity. The military government did more damage to Nigeria in terms of their nonchalant attitude to production of electricity. And I've mentioned it before that between 1989 and 1999, Nigeria was ruled by not less than 4 individuals. As of 1989, we had President General Ibrahim Babangida. He was followed by the late Chief Ernest Shonekan, followed by General Sani Abacha, followed by General Absalam Abubakar, all between 1989 and 1999. Within this 10-year period, not a single power plant was built, not one. And what that means is that we are going, and give it to Babangida, before 1989, he had done a lot of work that helped us with the largest generation plant in Egbe, the biggest in West Africa. They completed all of that. But I'm saying that we didn't grow our electricity in accordance with the growth in population. And once you fail to do that in 1989 or 99 or 2009, by 2039 you will still suffer for it. Because it's a very capital intensive thing. It is not something that is so easy. It's very easy to name, to blame, to claim today. But the truth is that whatever we fail to do today will haunt us tomorrow. So we should leave blaming, claiming, naming alone. We should be talking about solution. How do we get there? What do we need to do? And that's one of the reasons why I was in Enugu. Because to be honest with you, when we are talking about electricity, you cannot talk about electricity without talking about the need for investment. And you cannot talk about investment without assuring an investor that he will be able to recover his cost. Everywhere you go, even in media houses, they are different. Yes, you transmit, everybody sees us, but the equipment you have differs. You go from OGTV, go to Arise, but if you go to TVC today, you will know the meaning of equipment in media.
All right,
so it's about investment. Investment requires money, and that is one of the things that I think we should all focus on, both government, private sector, and of course the populace. Energy theft that you talk about, as an industry, we are trying our best, but we can't do it alone. We need the security agencies, and they're also cooperating with us at all levels. But even at that, crimes are solved in abroad because people, neighbors, give help to the security agencies. They will name them. They will point at a place where they suspect anything. Here they will say, Kilo Kwembe. Kilo Kwembe means what's your own business? So we don't have a culture of helping, of checking what's going on in our neighborhood. If you do it here, they call you a loaf of food, they say, what is your business? So I think those are the things. All of us need just to know what we need to do, our roles and responsibilities. But I'm saying that we're better today than we were on the 1st of November when I came to Nigeria to work for IBDC. I can
What year was that?
Okay.
Figures. 2013.
2013.
November 1st.
You said something, and you landed on it now, that what you first said is that whatever we fail to do, I will suffer for it. Whatever we fail to do today, we'll suffer for it tomorrow.
Yes.
And you landed by saying that the electricity is actually better now. And at the beginning, you also spoke about areas, and you mentioned areas like Obantoku, which I know it has improved really, truly. But the next question I want to ask you is that, so what have you done to get improvement in some of these areas that you've mentioned? Maybe you can share it with us. And what are you planning to do to even do more? Because you've said it can be better. We all know that it can be better. And there are still areas that have not improved as we are talking about.
Okay, what we have done and what we are planning to do more the engineers call it network expansion. What we have tried to do is to look at ways and routes where we can plug in and push electricity there and do it better. The first and foremost, electricity has to be produced, that generation, from somewhere. It is when they generate and it has to be transported to us. That is transmission. When they now transport it to us, it is what they send to us that we can push out and distribute. That's why the value chain is very important. But even at that, I think improvement was made at Iliweron, for instance. That injection substation there, a lot of money was spent. There is the injection station almost adjacent to Paramount FM on the way to Kobakwe Road. Improvement was done there, a lot of work was done. Ujeri transmission station, there was a lot of improvements by the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN. By the time they opened up those things, we were able to receive more electricity from the grid. And once you get that, we latch on to that at the interface, we're able to distribute that across the board. But like I said, we also need the cooperation of the people that we are serving. There is a place, American Junction or Americo, they call it some names. That's at the end of Aloji Road in Obantoko. When you get to the end of Aloji Road, turn right, keep going up. I think there's a school or so on the right. On the left, there's an estate, there's an arc. Inside that place, a lot of bypass is going on. Yes, we keep saying this, but we have to begin to name and shame. We don't have to give their name. They know themselves. They know the area I'm talking about. It's not just there. We have caught some people in Oloke village, which is an extension of the Ibaya GRA. Same thing happened at Obadaoko. Obadaoko people were so privileged that they were getting almost 24-hour electricity. But we have to look at our business model and find a way to ensure that we reduce our losses. And if you live in Obadaoko and you're watching me this morning, maybe you need to call your community together. You're not getting that 24 hours the way you were getting it before, because there are a lot of thieves in your neighborhood. And
electricity tips?
Yes,
okay. Going
on in Obadaoko. When you get to Obadaoko, there's this, both sides of the road actually, but let me talk about one of the sides. There's this town, there's this health center. The road beside the health center goes on, get to a point, goes right, straight, and one goes left. Whether left or right, the whole of that place, from that health center, there are a lot of untoward acts that people, if you are stealing the energy we are sending to you, and we cannot recover our costs, why are you now saying, they even wanted to vandalize an equipment in Adigbe, which is an auto reclosure. There was an equipment that was set up there to reduce the losses, to ensure that we'll be taking it to where we are getting payment. And they are even holding meeting and planning in the WhatsApp group how to go and vandalize. And we were able to
you have evidences for this?
Oh yes. I won't talk about what I don't know.
No, I'm talking about the discussion in the
group. Oh yes. We have people in almost all the WhatsApp group. There's hardly any CDA in this country today that we don't have people. I can tell you something that happened in Zungeru just on Saturday. Once we get the intelligence, we know what to do. We also we are desirous of serving everybody. We don't want to discriminate. We want to give as much electricity as we can. But the truth of the matter is that if I'm a supplier of bread, and I always use bread as an analogy because it is easy for people to understand bread. When you eat bread, what we are eating is not just a loaf of bread, it contains a lot of ingredients. Sugar is there, honey is there, but the most important one is wheat. That wheat is grown by a farmer or some farmers somewhere. When they grow the wheat, they sell to a company that is called flour mill. When the flour mill produces the flour, they will now sell flour to bakers, those who make bread. Between the farm and the flour mill, there are vehicles that will convey that transporter. Between flour mill and the bakery, there are vehicles that will take flour there, that transporter. From now, at the bakery, the baker will now add other ingredients. Every single ingredient, including sugar, come at a cost. Honey, everything that they add. They now do all of this, people now go there. And now, you now see Mrs. Babatunde going there to collect bread to sell. Yashaki had gone there to collect bread to sell. Yasikira that has her own shop at Yanomoshari. What she collects from the bakery, it is the price they sell those things at the bakery. That the cost from the bakery that will determine her own selling price. If he now put this 150 loaves of bread on her table at Yanomoshari, and some smart guys think they are smart, and they manage to steal 50, so remaining 100, and out of the 100, another 50 was bought by my brother, seated here on my left, on credit. Say, until they pay me at OGTV, I'll come back and pay. But when they paid him his salary, he didn't go back. He said, I'll pay next month. All those acts, what it leads to is liquidity crisis for Yasikira, because she's not able to collect all those money so that she can go back to the bakery, pay again and get. That's the job of a distributor. You pay, you collect. When you don't have money to pay or you don't pay enough, you won't collect enough. So that's why we have this shortage.
Right.
So I'm just trying to explain that, yes, Nigerians are great people. I can also say, because it's not about negative alone, they are very fantastic, honest.
All right, Chief.
I can give you areas in Abeokuta where we recover almost 100% of our cost.
Maybe he names that area because
Olusegun Oshoba, Hilltop Estate.
He had named so many other places where they are deporting.
Responsible people.
You know the caliber of people that live in
that area. It's not about caliber. There are tenants there.
Yeah.
There are people who are just there.
But the landlords will not fold his hands and allow the tenants to misbehave.
Why should landlord in Obantoku then fold his hand and allow tenant to misbehave?
All right, Chief Oduto, the next thing we would like you to expatiate or shed more light on is that why has it become so difficult in Nigeria for discos in Nigeria to monitor their customers, so that when you are having there's electricity theft, you should be able to know right from the comfort of your office. You should be able to know, detect, and apply appropriate sanctions. One. Then number two, you compare GTV with TVC in terms of equipment and the likes of that. Will you be a shock to you that on monthly basis OGTV pays 8 million naira as electricity bill? Is that not humongous? Too much?
TVC pays maybe 60 million naira, so don't go into that. The money paid by OGTV,
but we are not metered.
Has nothing to do with your lack of infrastructure. Okay, maybe it is time for us to invite Mr. Governor to visit OGTV. And I understand he has not been visiting this place, but I'm not going too much into that. Look, let's do what is right for this country. Let all of us roll out our sleeves and do what we can do. Payment for utility is sacrosanct. It's an important thing for users. But getting the service is also an important thing. If you are paying and we are not giving you the service, then we are damn stupid. And I can assure you that we're also very inefficient. So we are trying to kill and reduce the inefficiency within our system.
So that means you are not getting service commercial with that 8 million naira. You are alluding the fact that discos are inefficient.
I'm saying that discos are trying to reduce the inefficiency in our system. Discos are populated by Nigerians, not by aliens, not by angels or malaikas. Discos have people like me and you. So I'm saying that we are trying our best to ensure things get better. And I've said it that things are better. You can't tell me that the kind of misbehavior that we met on the ground on the 1st of November 2013 is what is still going on in IBDC or in Ikeja or Kaduna or in Port Harcourt. It's better.
Okay,
but I'm saying that it can get better.
Mechanism to check electricity theft.
Now, electricity theft, checking it, number one, go and check what's going on in Ikeja Electric. Of all the discos now in Nigeria, Ikeja Electric has the best technology. They have invested more on technology, and that is why we get more complaints from Ikeja than any other disco. Because that's where you journalists live. You have your estate, in fact. And Nigerians love making noise. Instead of saying what they fail to do, they'll be talking about what the other party should do. For us, I said, we are still not efficient enough. That's a great admission. But the other side too should also admit that in Tunde's neighborhood, there are people bypassing meters. How many times have you reported that to me? I'm your senior in school, so you should even be telling to me privately about what you see.
But you know there is a law of privacy.
People don't know that say you should not
I may
you
not
see
know
something
because I
like
don't go into their compound
you don't
regularly.
need to go to their pump. We all know what's going on. But what I'm saying is this. We all have a role to play. Technology is the way to go. We did, like I said, we did an international workshop in Lagos on digital transformation. That was last Thursday. And all we are focusing on is how to invest hugely, to have things that will enable us to see what's going on in our network, to have equipment that will enable us to monitor. Right now we have some of these, many meters that we now have in our network, even under IBDC, are smart meters. Once you do anything there, we know. Some members of our staff went out on Saturday and ended up disconnecting very important people in this town because they were able to see from their system either the vending history or lack of vending or what needs to be done or what is not being done. So we are doing that. Okay. But I'm saying that we need to do more. Investment, it is easy for people to say, hey, they have not done investment. We see how people who are spending 3,000 naira on electricity in a month. That's not normal.
Yeah, it's not normal. Okay, we know it's not normal. But sorry, before you come in, Latif, let me ask you this again, Chief. Before late President Muhammadu Buhari left office, he took away electricity from exclusive list to concurrent list because there have been agitations in the past that the federal government is biting more than it can chew. And now it did that. President Bola Tinubu got to office, consolidated on that as well too. But you have said it, but I know it is not about being capital intensive only. How many state governors, how many states in Nigeria, how many individuals have capitalized on this particular development to invest in electricity? We have about 9 or 10 turbine, or what is it called, at Ogumosho. The line follows his era of late President Shehu Shagari that was installed, and yet to today he has not worked for a single 1 hour, and nobody is capitalizing on that. So that has been taken to concurrent list, and we are not seeing any direct investment on that. States are not capitalizing, and yet everybody keep blaming the federal government.
Thank you very much. I will start from where you ended. Ogumosho River Basin Authority. In 1980 to 82, there were a lot of river basin authorities that were commissioned, mainly for agriculture, water resources, and so on. Ogumosho has not 10 turbines, 3.
3, okay.
Each of the 3 has 3 megawatts. And as at 2014 or 2015, I think, when we checked, we found out that, 2015, we found out that of the 3 turbines, the control governor of one of the turbines had been stolen over the years. So that one cannot work. Now we have 2 more, which is 6 megawatts. As at the time it was commissioned, those 9 megawatts were capable of serving Abeokuta metropolis in those days. The demand is a lot more now. Now, there were a lot of politics between Ministry of Water Resources, Ministry of Agriculture, then federal government, and of course state. So the challenges there has a lot to do with the way we run Nigeria. When somebody sits down in Abuja and determine whether you can open one turbine here or not. But I'm sure a lot of work is going on. And I can remember that the Minister Fashola started that effort of taking all those small turbines all over the country, seeing how we can bring them on board. So that is the one with Ogumosho. And again, the Ogumosho technology, that turbine is a German technology, the last time I checked. The companies don't want in existence, so the issue of spare parts is an issue. But we can just still go there, modernize and rebuild, and get it on board. No excuse for not doing it. But you cannot blame we, the distributors. Blame the super people.
No, but DISCOs can leverage on that. Can you concession it to us?
You cannot go there. They cannot do anything unless people in charge, the owners, the federal government.
That's what I'm saying. Interface with the federal government and get it under your sleeve.
That is 9 megawatts, right?
6 now. You said one has been.
Sorry,
9 to come to they can replace the governor. If they modernize,
one unit, one machine.
Okay.
It's called control governor.
Okay, what's that? Okay.
It's missing.
It's still 9.
But, and the thing only worked for like 45 minutes. maybe 1981 or 82 when it was commissioned. But that's beside the story. The problem is that even Ogun River Basin Authority themselves, with their office on that along Funab area, yes, it is something they could have been using by themselves. Why are they not using it? Why are they not investing in just doing that so that they don't pay us for electricity? That tells you, speak to the failure of Nigeria, what we do in Nigeria, and how we do things. So that's one. State electricity. I can tell you that as of this morning, about 24 states have shown interest, Ogun State inclusive, and I use the word shown interest. Interest by passing the electricity law in their state, constituting the Electricity Regulatory Commission, so on and so forth. But only a few states, Lagos, Enugu, very few, have actually taken the bull by the horn by having that. But this is my own point. Even those states, including Enugu, there was a conflict on the issue of cost. What did they do? They became the masters, and I have a very close friend who is one of the main commissioners there. They now said, in Enugu, electricity will now cost 160 naira per kilowatt hour. Fantastic. But, electricity is a product. I've mentioned to you generation, transmission, and distribution. Yeah. The law is very clear. The Electricity Regulatory Commission of a state is an intra-state body. You are expected to generate, transmit, and distribute your electricity within your state. Yes. That does not mean that you cannot go across the border. Once you leave your state, you are going across the border. Once you go across the border, you go past Ilugun, for instance, on the way to Abeokuta-Ibadan road, you are across the border. If you go and take electricity from Omiadio to serve the people of Ilugun, that is taken from Oyo State to serve Ogun State. There's something we call cross-border tariff. The body giving the power to determine the tariff for that is the federal regulator, Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission. What they did in Enugu was that by fear they just fixed the price, but something is coming from somebody. The product is not your own. You are not the one that produces it. You have coal in Enugu. Go and produce. You can even give electricity out in Enugu as palliative. You don't have to even sell. You can call it 160 naira, you can call it 1 kobo. But if you are buying somebody else's product, and the product comes at a cost, if you have to reduce it, you must be ready to pay subsidy, fill the shortfall. That's the issue. It's a simple thing that anybody can understand. But cross-border tariff cannot be regulated by the state body. But because we are just starting, it is new. Some people are just using power. They don't know how to use their power. Okay, so that's what we are talking about. Again, I want to commend the Enugu Electricity Regulatory Commission, Lagos State Regulatory Commission under the Ibu leadership. The Lagos State under a very fantastic man who was brought up in this Abeokuta town, Engineer Bola Odubi, son of the late Honorable Justice Odubi. Those are people that know what to do. They know the system. They know how to run it. But it is like we are the embryo point, the starting point. So few states, not just Lagos and Enugu alone, but very few, have actually started something tangible. I would rather want to implore other states, including Ogun State, to start doing something, to call experts, to ask questions. We are blessed in this country. You get to any state, there are people that know the road, people that know what to say. It's not about politics. It's not about giving job to the boys.
Chief, talking about politics.
So it is the states that I think should do more than they are doing. They are not doing enough.
Talking about politics, I think you've mentioned it like 3 or 4 times now.
Yes.
I started it when I said that you responded that time in May that you are not interested in politics. You are interested in the policies and all of that. And you've also touched on it. But let me ask you, for experience sake, we've seen Dangote come out, talk about what is happening in the oil sector. What is the politics, or what politics are involved in this power sector that you've actually mentioned a number of times?
Okay. A lot of politics happened during Mr. Jonathan and Mr. Buhari's time. A lot. the first politics was that Mr. Jonathan started that one. He was the one that privatized though. You privatize an entity, and we say the basic thing to attract investors is to be honest with them. Let us look at the cost of production, and then we come to the landing cost before we can determine the selling price. And they did all of that. Experts sat down, they know. And then to explain it, for example, if the selling price, if the landing cost of a product is 50 naira, why should you now say we should be selling that same product at 23 naira? And we say, okay, sir, the other 27 naira, are you going to give us? He say, yeah, I recognize the shortfall. So I agree that it's 15 naira because we have checked. And now I'm saying sell for 23 naira because I don't want my people. We had election in 2015 coming. I don't want my people to suffer or to be angry. Sell to them at 23. So the 27, I will pay you, but I don't have money now. So write it down and call it shortfall. So the shortfall started piling up. At the point of privatization, Mr. Jonathan said, I will pay the subsidy because subsidy were owed, money were owed the gas suppliers who are not part of the power sector, who sell the gas in dollar. They calculate it in dollar, you now pay the naira equivalent. Right. So the shortfall kept mounting. So people are now buying at 20 naira. They will still part of 23 naira. But as they were buying at 23 naira, Nigerians thought the value, the cost is 23 naira. So when they now say tariff increase from 23 to 25, they say, they have started again. We not go agree, we are loot out, we go fight. Because government has not been honest enough from the beginning. They were playing politics because they wanted to win election, which they lost anyway. They should have told everybody from day one, this thing is 15 naira. But for now, we'll sell to you at 23 naira, but we will join the subsidy with time. We as government will be paying. But this was a country during Mr. Buhari borrowing money to pay salary. This was a country that could not afford anything. And what has changed? Mr. Bola Tinubu came in, love him or hate him. You don't have to be APC to see what is right. He came in and he said, you guys in electricity, he started with oil, with the petroleum industry, stopped subsidy. What is the effect? Once they stopped subsidy, all these scammers couldn't make their billion that they made every day. And they are now a lot of money. Every single state government in Nigeria today have more than 3 times the allocation they were having before. But when you look at the states all over the country, how many roads were better? What maintenance are they doing? Have you seen 3 times more performance? That's another matter again. Because we keep on deceiving ourselves, and we don't like to speak truth to the power. Okay, that one. Then he came to us, electricity. He said, the good thing is we have band A, B, C, D, and E. And Mr. President said, because people in band A enjoy an average of between 20 and 24 hours in a 30-day period, that's the average, okay? He said, why should we be subsidizing somebody who have light? That we should withdraw the subsidy on electricity. For band A, it was 37%.
All right.
He now said, look, these people, I don't have money to pay you subsidy. We need money
for whatever they're using.
So that is why you see that people in band A are paying 206, 209 naira per kilo hour, while the person in band B is paying something like 68 naira, less than 100 naira. You can see the disparity. Okay? The way he removed it, those who are on band A, we see them as the patriots, the fantastic Nigerians, because they are paying the true cost of electricity, so they deserve better service. So if you're in band A and you have problem with your electricity or with your transformer, the disco that serves you will always rush down to do it because it's recovering his cost there. If you don't have light, you won't be able to get money.
So Chief,
so the service better than if you're in band D. That's
Chief,
why you now have to contribute money to fix your own.
Chief, there is discrimination then. Because discos know that they will make more revenue from those in band A. That is why they will rush quickly to repair their transformer if there's any issue with it. And because they are also making more money, that's why they are getting more hours of electricity. So that's discrimination, because who tells you that those people on band D, if they have more hours of electricity and would they pay? They will also pay. And you should also be proactive enough to repair whatever errors they have so that they can also enjoy electricity. And stop this idea of community contributing money to repair.
We are not the one asking community to contribute money. Let me explain. I've explained this thing before.
No, it's because it's still happening.
I'm saying
it's still happening.
It will continue to happen.
Chief, let me
tell you why.
add to it.
The reason why
people
pay
buy
for those
transformer,
things. The reason why they do all of that is because if you are in band D, if you are in band A, number one, all of you must be metered. We have to ring fence that neighborhood electronically. That is, we have to have a system in place where we can check what's going on, because a lot of energy is being pushed there and costs a lot of money. Now, the purpose of band A, B, C, and D is to get every Nigerian at some point into band A. Everybody is coming to band A. And I remember the people of Masha, Olamojuba, Agbon area in Surulere, they wanted to protest because they didn't want to go below band A. They don't want to be on band A.
They don't want to be.
They prefer that band B, because band B they were getting almost 19 hours. So cheap. They didn't want to do that. We said no. We at DISCO, we are not the one that say Idiaba should be on band B or C. It is our regulator that looks at availability of supply and the ability to get the power there. If I can get electricity from Ojere transmission station to Abule Alaha in Obafemi area, why can't I put them on band A? It is because what we have is not enough. Nigeria is producing far less than what Nigeria needs. That's why it's not discrimination. It's not an intended discrimination, right? But it is because where can you serve? Which one is nearer to where you can get the light there? You look at the network, how healthy they are. You look at the distance. Obantoko is very far from Ojeri the last time I checked. It is because they have done something via Ilewe.
Which band is Obantoko?
I wouldn't remember now, but they cannot be less than band C or...
But you once lived there, and you are still living there.
Yes.
So you should be able to tell...
I live in Abuja. I come to Abeokuta.
And when Obantoko is not band A, it's not band B.
Obantoko is not band A.
It's not band B?
It's not band B. It should be found band C or D.
But why is it? Where are DISCOs not investing more? So you are saying if you are for you to get a visit from Ujere to Abule Aha or whatsoever in Obantoko, Alaha in Obafemi Wode, that you prefer to put them on band A. Why are the DISCOs not investing more since 2013? This is about 20 something.
You keep on talking about why did. Number one, to get electricity today, it's not about the investment by the DISCOs. Let the public be educated on this. And I used bread as an example earlier. If the baker cannot buy 50 bags of flour, can he produce more bread over 50 bags of flour? It is what you can get that determines what you can produce. It is what you can produce that the distributor can distribute.
So the
problem is that Nigeria is still doing between 5,000 and 5,500, 5,700 megawatts, when we should be doing 32,000 megawatts.
Still very far.
So yes, the moment we have more, electricity cannot be stored. So you cannot discriminate. You cannot say, I give that area, I won't give that area. You have to, once the electricity gets to us at DISCOs, it has to go out.
But there's something I still want you to, I would love you to explain. You said it cannot stop, and I was talking about a community having to buy transformer, to energize it. So you wanted to explain why should it be like that? We
do repair transformer in band D, band C, in some locations in the country. I cover the whole country. I was in Ikotepene. Ikotepene is a place in Akwa Ibom State, not far from Uyo. There's a community there. I went there to talk to them. They were very arrogant, because they were not paying. And they said they will not pay because the injection substation by TCNO, Transmission owns the federal government injection substation, not Port Harcourt DISCO. They said because it is on their ancestral land. They are the owner of that infrastructure. Why should they be paying for electricity? And they are owing us billions. And every time we disconnect, they get violent. That's where we need technology. The last time we suffered from Ikeja Air Force Base, what did we do? We invested over 40 million, that's Ikeja Electric. Today, we can switch off the Air Force Base with the press of a button from Alauta or from anywhere. And we can restore with the press of a button. They fought us that time because they didn't want us to install a modern prepaid meter, big one. Now we have resolved. Now they are paying their debt because they knew they were owing. They were just using the gun that they had as if we were in the military government, and we fought them. Okay? The moment we are able to do this in more locations in the country, it will reduce the issue of energy theft and debt. So when you come to me today, and when I say me, you come to IBDC today, and you say your transformer is faulty, where do you live? Give us location. American Junction, Obantoko, at the end of Alogi Street. What do? We go into our system, we check our computer, Tunde Shodeke injection substation, American Junction, Obantoko, Abeokuta, to come up with the account. Okay. We now see on that transformer how much debt is being owed. Oh. So if they are owing us 8 million, but I need to now buy them 12, 15 million naira worth of transformer. You as a businessman, can you do that? No. What do? We now say, okay, we have seen it. Go and pay us at least half of what you are owing. Come and do agreement with us on how you are going to clear the remaining debt. Once we have that, we invest 15 million there. You know what happened? There are many good people in those locations. That area I'm even mentioning, fantastic people are there, but they are also thieves. Just like in Olokuta. Olokuta is opposite Kenta Housing Estate. Why the people of Kenta are always ready to pay off? We have a lot of thieves in Olokuta.
Well, thank God you're
now what I'm saying, I'm not saying alleged. I'm saying there are energy theft in this location. It doesn't mean that everybody in Olokuta.
But Chief, okay, why
the good people there, they try, but the others who are owing are not ready to pay, and we will not budge.
But Chief, why do money? Chief, that's why. Before we are questioning, why do discos have to wait till you have accumulated debts, bills, before you know your transfer is faulty now? Okay, yes, so before we can do this,
we don't wait. We want our money as and when due. But when we give you bill, or when we demand for it, or you have prepaid meter, we only know that you are bypassing when we know. Sometimes we don't get to know on time. But now with smart meters, that will come to an end. A time is coming when everybody will have smart meters. If you tamper with it,
do that.
No.
Yeah.
So, because we still have one bad thing that we have, and I'll blame us, the whole power sector, including the federal government and state government. The ideal thing should be for every single house in Nigeria to be metered. And the problem with metering is that the government and I've been in the system since privatization, so I can say it. I came back to Nigeria to work from November 1, 2013. I can tell you today that we have had 4 different policies on metering. When we started, it was with the discos. We call it CAPME. It was the discos that were in charge of meters. Okay. So we tell you, we give you meter, we deduct in as you buy meters, we install. As you vend, as you buy credit, we will give you more credit to pay you back. Now, because the meters are not supplied directly by the discos, they are given to external companies.
Sorry, Chief, apologies. Chief, apologies. We might have to draw the curtain on this program. Maybe we'll still need to bring you back because it's one thing that is inexhaustible. This power generation, electricity in Nigeria is inexhaustible. A lot to be said, a lot to know, so that people can get to be on the same page with federal government, with state government, and discos, and do the needful. I always wonder too, why do people need to bypass? All you need to do is control your consumption. If you have been controlling, you are using 10,000 a month and you have a meter, control it to the barest minimum level. If it's going to be 5,000, 3,000 in a month, do that as well too. So I want to thank you so much, Chief Sunday Odunton, the Chief Executive Officer, Association of Nigerian Electricity Distributors, who has been talking to us on challenges faced by DISCOs and some other salient issues as well too, as regards power generation and distribution in Nigeria. I want to thank you for finding out to be with us. And for my colleague,
yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. Another set of anchors returns on Wednesday for a fresh edition of New Dawn. Until then, it's bye for now.